Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of The Comic Book, the one essential guide for comic book fans everywhere. And it's by Paul Sassienie. I assume that's how you say it. You've got Spidey on the front cover. An unusual choice, but still, that's good to see. However, 1994 this book came out, 300 odd pages. I'm not really certain where it sits. It's one of those ones that you sort of like, it goes all over the place. It's talking about British comics in places, but only very subtle. And then sometimes it's talking about American books. And he's even got bits of medieval in here as well. So it throws the kitchen sink in. So you've got here, Warriors of Plasma. Why put that on the back cover? Now you've got that very famous one there, and then you've got that on the back cover I've never heard of. Plasma, I'm certain it's very good. But here, the most thorough, I never say that word, authoritative, that's it, guide to collecting comics available, etc. 250 magnificent colour illustrations and much, much more. So let's just go through it. But it does go backwards and forwards. Like I say, it's got starts, weirdly, Pickwick Paper, you've got there, your Pickwick Club. You've got Superman on the same page, the Mickey Mouse Weekly. So it's got some British ones. Then it goes off to American ones. You've obviously got the famous Detective Comics one there. Brilliant Detective Comics number 31. The Monk. And an Ashcan there. I mean, actually, I don't think I've ever seen that one, actually, the world's best comics. I've seen quite a few of the Ashcan ones. There was one of the journals, magazines that I got, fanzine, that was full of pictures of them, but I don't remember that one. Terry Toons, you've got Joker Comics. So it does cover a lot of materials. Green Funnies, Vault of Horror, of course, EC Comics. You got Pre-Silver Age, 1950. You got there Weird Science, three-dimensional comics. You've obviously got the Comics Authority there. You've got Sergeant Bilko. So you've got a weird mix of stuff. Like I say, and sometimes then it sort of just goes off. You've got obviously the classic Marvel stuff, Strange Tales there, big Strange Tales, haven't you? Just odd. And then you've got one of the best covers, Dr. Solar. Why didn't they go for a big picture of Dr. Solar? That would have been a much better one on that page. Late Silver Age, you've got Herbie Comics. It's like, yeah. And then it's got weird choices here of this one, Amazing Spider-Man, number 97. I mean, fine, it's a great comic, but and of course it was famous because of the CCA seal of authority, approval, I should say. Never understood that, but anyway, that's typical. But you got Invaders. You got some that are small covers, and you think, why didn't they go for a big cover? That one, Howard the Duck, that one, Uncanny X-Men, etc., etc. And then it weirdly goes back, and this is after going all the way through 1929, issue 29 of Detective Comics, The Batman, and Sandman, of course. You've got the brilliant Sandman cover next, and then you've got Hellblazer, Dave McKean. I love all those sort of things, just absolutely. Now, was it? I think it's Dave McKean. Been a fan of Dave McKean. It's terrible when I think, ooh, is it Dave McKean? I'm certain it is. However, it then, weirdly, after all that, and that covers 136 pages. So 136 pages, well, it's not even that, actually. Let's see, it actually covers, the Exiles. 131. So you got there, and it goes to The Power of Shazam. Brilliant comic that was, as well. Then it goes to grading, assessing, and collecting. And obviously talking about American stuff, of course, but it also includes British ones as well. So it's really odd. And then it's got big Lulu, which I mean I love. Lulu is brilliant. I think you've got a trivia quiz, index of creators. So you've got a long list of creators as well. Lobo, glossary of terms. Glossary of terms. And then you've got the Beatles. However, the Munsters. But then, weirdly, you've got this list. And this would have been very useful. In fact, it would have been, you got a little section with comments, I suppose that's something. So you could always put, yes, I've got it. But maybe if they'd gone for a sort of like a check box, you could tick, tick, tick. Now, obviously you can anyway, but you think a little sort of row that would be fit just nicely for that. So you could just tick each one. Yeah, I've got a comic of that or whatever. Or if you've got all of them, because it does here. And I'm not certain you could really, is this every comic? Because there's some series that are just so hard. And this shows the problem with this. You got here, and I mean, I've never even heard of some of these ones. You got here, and I'm just looking at Alien Legion. So you got Alien Legion, then you got Alien Legion again, then you got Alien Legion again, then you got Binary Deep. So you got obviously another one, and you got like what the year it started and all that sort of thing. Amazingly comprehensive. I mean, is this the lot? And it does also cover, weirdly, British comics as well. So it's got, now I'm just going to have a quick look actually after saying that. Let's have a look. So fantastic. Yeah, it does have that. So fantastic here. Oddums. I'm never certain. Oddums. 89 issues apparently, 1967 to 68. Reprints, Marvel material, which is odd because it strictly is true, of course, but it also includes its own. There was Johnny Future and those sort of things that was included as well. So it wasn't just totally Marvel material. And you got loads of other and lots of ones, and it's got here Megalith and Meet Miss Pepper, St John Publishing. So it includes some of the smaller sort of John Pub. I love St John Pub, but I would have thought personally, a better order would have been to do it by publishers. Personally, because that's the way I've always collected. If you're a fan of Marvel, you're a fan of Marvel. Now, I mean, I know people are a fan of comics general and will buy, but lots of people I think are probably fan of Marvel, fan of DC, maybe a bit of overlap. You know, I'm certain that people who are Marvel fans like DC, but you would have thought breaking it down by that would have been better approach to it, because it just would have then you could have looked and said, oh, that's the entire list of St John Publishing, or that's the whole entire list of all the Caliber Press. But instead, you've got to look through it, and it's a long list. I mean, it's page after page after page of just lists, literally at the back of this book, which is now, of course, with the internet, I guess, this was 1994, to be fair. But now it's sort of a bit odd, because you go here and you've got Thunder, this sort of thing. Thunderbirds Annual, Thunderbirds Annuals, Thunderbirds Annuals, Thunderbirds A Go, Thunderbirds, and so on. It even breaks it down to Holiday Special. So you've got here 1992. Now, Thunderbirds Holiday Special, was there any specials before that? I'm surprised. Thunderbirds Special, Polystyle, 1971 to 84, and so on. So it's got UK ones, but it doesn't break it down and put a comment saying this is a UK one or US. See, I would have broken it down with that. But anyway, I guess everyone will have their own personal opinion how to do a list like that. But it just seems slightly odd way of doing it. It sort of would have been more useful, I think, breaking it down slightly a bit better than just by name. Because it's just so hard to just go through list after list. And then you might not know, what was it called? Was it, you know it was for Marvel, and you know it was what's name, so you could break it down really quite close. But this is just makes it very hard to go through. I mean, it's fine. But it's a great little book. And this is one I picked up in my local charity shop. And again, that's whenever those sort of things, I shouldn't complain too much. 50 pence. What a great little book. And I'm always happy to pick up a book like this. Absolutely superb. So, yeah, one that's tricky to say. I put my finger on exactly what it was aiming for with this book. Is the best way of describing this one. Absolutely fine. I mean, it's a really nice book. But seems to be a bit all over the place for my taste. But anyway, comic book, the only essential guide for comic book fans everywhere.